And now, an on-the-record special, Christians under attack.
The ISIS Islamic terrorist group targeting and killing Christians and religious minorities.
They're killing Christians,
right.
And if you and threaten you, we're going to kill you if you don't get out of there to the Christians. They're beheading children, I understand.
We saw the same thing in the Sudan. We saw the same thing in Kosovo.
You're having people on the ground slaughtering Christians.
Christians should be praying for them, and the world should be denouncing these acts of terrorism and genocide.
It's around the world, from Iraq to Iran to Sudan to North Korea and beyond. Christians are being persecuted. And former Senator Rick Santorum joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you very much, Greta.
These people are being persecuted because of their thoughts, their beliefs. Is this growing?
Unfortunately, it is. I mean, this is a problem with, it's really, let's pin it where it is. This is radical Islam. And radical Islam is intolerant of any dissent, including other Muslims. I mean, one of the things that is also pointed out is that moderate Muslims are also suffering under this Sharia compliance that is driving Christians out of radical areas, as well as just the violence that is being perpetrated on them, burning of churches, killing of clergy, and now you're seeing masses of people.
Is it, does the Quran have tolerance for other beliefs? Because you say it's radical Islam. Does the Quran itself allow for diversity of thought and faith?
The Quran is a mixed bag, and there are verses in the Quran that the radicals hold on to and use that to justify their activities, and then there are other verses in the Quran that so-called moderate Muslims, I don't say so-called, but moderate Muslims hold on to and say there is a lot of ability to live with others and tolerate and have tolerance. So the Quran is sort of whatever you want to justify. There's verses in there for both, and that creates the problem.
So how do we stop this? Because we see what's going on in Iraq. I mean, where people are literally convert or be murdered. So what should the United States do or not do?
Well, this is something that's been a problem with Islam for a long, long time, and now these radicals are seizing upon, really, when I say a long time, I mean thousands of years ago. I mean over 1,000, not thousands, over 1,000 years ago. I mean, this was the standard, and you have folks who are living in the 8th century, the 9th century, and trying to resurrect that, period of time.
What do we do?
Look, I've said this from, Greta, I've been on your show many, many times. You have to confront it. You can't ignore it. You can't say, because we killed one person, Osama bin Laden, that it's gone. When you see a rise of it, and have seen a constant rise of it in countries all over the world. Even Muslims in that region of the world, take al-Sisi in Egypt, recognize the threat that it is to Muslims generally.
So what do we do?
Well, what is al-Sisi doing? He's confronting it. I mean, he's wiping it out.
So what do we do?
Well, I think what we have to do is engage with those who want to partner with us and do what is necessary to eliminate those threats, ISIS being first and foremost right now in Iraq. And we have to begin to partner with, hopefully, the new prime minister there to engage in a way that's constructive to eliminate this threat.
Do you see us doing that?
I don't see any leadership being provided by this president. I think this president is content to take a step back, to let others. I mean, here we are where there's a war going on in the Middle East with Hamas and Israel, and the Egyptians are setting up the peace talks. I mean, who would have conceived that, as 5 or 6 years ago? But that's where we are. We have retreated from world leadership, and as a result of that, we have no say in the future of those countries right now.
You mentioned Israel. You're headed there.
I am.
Why?
To show solidarity to the Israelis. I mean, we've seen just reports just in the last few days. I mean, that this administration is doing everything they can to try to force Israel into a very bad deal, to a ceasefire, not to be able to defend themselves, to stop these missiles from coming, to stop the tunnels from being used to bring terrorists into the country. And we need to stand up and say that the American public, maybe not this administration, but that the American public supports Israel, and we're going to be there to make that statement.
Senator, nice to see you. Have a good trip.
Thank you.
And right now, the war on Christians is most evident and terrifying in Iraq. ISIS militants killing Christians who will not convert to Islam. A live report from Iraq is next.